Today is Friday, November 6th, 2020, and today I'm just thinking about things that I think about all the time and kind of just lamentations of living in the end. Even though time is moving really quickly, I'm just incredibly bored and everything seems pointless, and I'm just sitting there waiting for the end. And not in like a depressive way, like sitting in my room with the lights off under the covers. And no, it's not like that at all. It's kind of like the opposite of that. Since time is moving so quickly, I don't really have all that much time to just sit down and mope about things. It's just in the back of my mind, I'm constantly thinking about all this truth stuff, whatever. It's like this obsession for years now. It's this thing that I can't stop thinking about. So it's not like I'm just sitting there in a dark room thinking about this stuff all the time. It's not that at all. I'm actually really busy with life stuff all the time, and it almost makes it even worse. There's no time to just sit down and relax, and it's very exhausting. I feel super exhausted. I can see the exhaustion on everybody else, and especially with this whole event that's going on this year. Even people even people that are totally asleep, they just want it to be over, and they just want life to go back to normal. And it doesn't seem like the NWO is going to let up on this huge psyop anytime soon. But hopefully this huge event should be able to wake some people up, people that are on the fence, able to be woken up. Hopefully this should be a big push. It seems like 4 years ago, a lot of us woke up around the time of the previous election, and that was like a big event that could shake some people awake. And I think that this whole year, it's gotta wake up some people who can see that look at every government around the world freaking out over absolutely nothing. So hopefully more people can wake up with this event. I still feel pretty alone, and just like there should be more people that are awake, and there should be more truth channels out there that I personally connect with, not ones that I feel like are shill channels. It just still feels very lonely 4 years later. And yeah, that's just what I'm thinking about today. Every day feels like it's just like a flip book. There's really no time to rest. It's this strange mixture of being incredibly bored and not caring about anything, but at the same time, not really having any downtime to just sit there and think about being bored, because daily obligations and everything takes up so much time these days with time moving more quickly. So yeah, it's this strange mixture of being incredibly bored, but at the same time feeling rushed for everything, and everything that used to take 30 minutes, now it seems like it takes more than an hour, and just all sorts of things that make life not that enjoyable these days. But it is a blessing, time moving more quickly. We're near the end, and it sucks not knowing exactly when it's going to end, but I trust God's will, and we just have to keep at it, keep going, and that doesn't mean that it doesn't suck right now. Matthew chapter 24, verse 22, "And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened." And I think it's just really clear that time is moving more quickly, and it's the same thing as days being shorter. If days aren't as long as they used to be, if days are shorter, that's the same thing as time moving more quickly, because that's what time has to do with, the day-night cycle. And so I'll just show a few things. I'm going to keep today's video short. I'm just trying to get a video out every day. And I saw a lot of outer space stuff on Reddit today. So just flipping through, I don't go to Reddit very often, but every once in a while I will, just to see what the hive is trying to put out there. And it seemed like today there was so much outer space stuff, so I thought I would just show you one ridiculous outer space thing. This is the first flower ever grown entirely in space. They have enough BS stories about their BS outer space land, and it's just a way, it's spellcraft. They make people believe in things by just jamming it into their head with just hoaxery, non-stop hoaxery out of NASA. And what do you know? It's orange. It's an orange flower. And in the comments, people were nice enough to tell me it's an orange zinnia. So they went out of their way to get an orange flower for their psyop. There's so much orange with NASA. And of course, orange is the only color that's 33. So I guess I would just say that that's one thing I noticed, that it seems like there's a lot of outer space propaganda going around right now. And I don't know exactly their end game with that. Maybe they know that's crazy stuff is going on up there. And it just seems like sometimes the news is full of it more than other times. And other things that I'm thinking about, I can really see that the sun is low in the sky now and the moon is super high in the sky, and it all happens so quickly. And well, if you weren't paying attention to it, then I guess you wouldn't notice it. But around the changing of the seasons, the position of the sun and moon changed so drastically, and that proves that the NASA fantasy is not real. If the NASA fantasy was real, the sun and the moon positions would just be very small, gradual changes over time. But that's not how reality works. And it really seems like we're headed into winter. Yeah, the sun is really low in the sky, the moon is high in the sky. NASA won't tell you that the moon gives cold light. Anyways, this is just another Bible verse, or it's more of a parable. And I'm not going to read the whole parable, but it's a parable that just reminds me of the end times. And there's a connection. We're in the 11th month of the year, and this is about the 11th hour. And so if you don't know this parable, you should go read the whole thing. It's just a very interesting parable. And I think that we're in the 11th hour. This is the last chance for people to be saved. Matthew chapter 20, verses 6 through 8. And about the 11th hour he went out and found others standing idle, and saith unto them, Why stand ye here all the day idle? They say unto him, Because no man hath hired us. He said unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that shall ye receive. So when even was come, the Lord of the vineyard saith unto his steward, Call the laborers, and give them their hire, beginning from the last unto the first. And just to paraphrase, if you don't know what this parable is all about, it's about someone who was hiring laborers, and he hired a bunch of laborers every hour basically of the day. And at the end of the day, the people who were hired in the morning got the same exact pay as the people that were hired in the 11th hour. And then the people that were hired really early got all angry about, oh, why'd we get paid the same as the people later? Anyways, you should just go read this parable if you're not familiar with it. And I think we're in the 11th hour. This is the last chance for people to get their acts together and join the correct team, be hired by the correct person, and follow Jesus Christ and repent. And I think this is it. I think the reason that it's stretching out now, but just something that I think of, I used to play soccer when I was young. You know in soccer how the time will pass for the game to be end, but they add those few extra minutes in for all the fouls and things. There's like this extra 5 or so minutes after each soccer game. And that's what it feels like that we're in right now. We're just in those extra minutes that are left over for just the very last things to be wrapped up. And so yeah, that's it for this video. Nothing groundbreaking, but I do want to put out a video every day. So I really do appreciate all the comments and all the support I get. God bless everyone.